Okay, so hopefully you were able to read the scenario and choose in the quiz which felt right to you. So these four responses correspond to these four major different roles that folks in social movements play. And I'm going to dive a little more into each of them, but feel free to check out the resource attached below that goes into even more detail. But before I do dive in, I want to make a couple of points about these first. So between these roles, the point isn't to compare. None of these are inherently better than others. There might be specific situations where one is more appropriate, but generally in movements, we need all four of them to function well. There's also this beautiful idea about biodiversity. So just like a monoculture of corn makes for a poor ecosystem, a monoculture of activism makes for a poor movement. And it's the richness of diversity of multiple different roles that makes a kind of thriving movement ecosystem. We need all of them. These roles are not just individual, they're organizational as well. So while you and me and each of us individually might identify as one of these roles, entire organizations might as well. So 350 PDX is probably mostly a combo of change agent and advocate, whereas a mutual aid organization is more of a helper, and a group like Extinction Rebellion might be more of a rebel. And finally, there's no right answer, only good enough answers for now. So you might find yourself identifying as an advocate now, but over time you might get fed up and transition towards rebel, or the other way around. You might find that you have a day job where you're a change agent all day. So when you're volunteering at night, you really want to mix it up and go out and be a helper. Okay, so first up, we have the helper. Helpers want to directly help folks on the ground who need it now, like roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty and provide direct help to whoever needs it in the moment. So mutual aid organizations that provide resources to houseless folks, run emergency shelters, being a medic at a protest. These are all kind of helper roles. And the picture here on the slide is from the wildfires that ravaged Southern Oregon in 2020. So we at 350 and a bunch of other folks organized trucks full of donated supplies to go down there. That's my colleague Deneen sitting on the truck. And on the left here, you can see some of the ways that helpers can be effective and some of the ways that they can be ineffective. And we'll have that for each of the four roles. And they really hopefully show how they kind of complement each other. So next we have the advocate. Advocates use the current system to get results. So in the US right now, we live in a flawed democracy. There are pretty glaring holes in our democracy right now. But despite the flaws, there are still lots of avenues to have our voices heard and sway decisions in an official setting. So most public decisions have public comment periods, public testimony, opportunities to meet with legislators, all of which we can utilize to push forward our campaign goals. So a lot of mainstream environmental groups are full-on advocates. And a good chunk of the work that we do at 350 PDX is advocate work. And the picture here is a volunteer, Sandy, testifying at City Hall for them to divest from fossil fuels, which is a campaign that we won. Okay, next up we have the change agent. So this role uses all those lessons from People Power 101 to build power outside the current system. Focuses on long-term campaigns, building movements, building broad coalitions, like developing leaders within the movement. And the tactics that the change agent might use could be like big mass actions or petitions that are really designed at showcasing the power of the movement, so that the decision makers can sort of get a chance to see the organizing might, the organizing power that they're up against if they choose to not meet our demands. I would say that 350 PDX mainly would identify as a change agent as an organization, but we certainly do lots of work as the other roles too. And even within a change agent organization, there will be lots of individual roles for helpers and advocates and rebels within the organization to kind of keep everything going and everything in balance. And the picture here is from our volunteer party last summer. Okay, last up we have the rebel. So rebels, they like to disrupt the system. Yeah, explosive mass protest or civil disobedience that's about getting the point across that, what's happening is unacceptable. So imagine folks with megaphones getting arrested or just making noise outside of a Chase Bank or on the train tracks, blocking the trains like in this picture. This is in Vancouver, Washington, after the Moja oil train derailment a handful of years ago. So those folks might identify as rebels, at least in this moment. And the work they do is it's exciting, courageous, risky. Okay, so now that we've gone through the 4 roles of social change in a bit more detail, please go ahead and take the quiz below about what role you identify with. And also linked below is another model for identifying your role in a social change ecosystem, this time with 9 different roles that I threw in here because I thought you might find it useful too.